We now cross to our reporter who's at the High Court in Pretoria. Chriselda, good morning.
Well, a very good morning to you, Kendall.
Chriselda, do we know what time court is due to start today?
Well, we're expecting proceedings to get underway at 9:30 here at the North Gauteng High Court. But what you're seeing behind me here at the moment are supporters for Oscar Pistorius who came to court from very early this morning. There's also a placard that's been signed from around the world, people saying they're here to support Oscar Pistorius. They believe that Oscar Pistorius was tried by the media and essentially that he had been prejudiced in this matter, saying that this matter, even though there'd been similar cases, Oscar Pistorius' case had been handled quite differently. They're saying they're here to support Oscar Pistorius. You can see that banner just here behind me. That's the banner that has been signed from people around the world, which indicates that Oscar Pistorius, they say similar cases were treated differently. He was tried by the media, also saying that he was abused and bullied. Those are just some of the placards that we're seeing here this morning. But we're expecting proceedings to be extremely short here this morning, where they will formalize the date from the 13th to the 17th of June, where sentencing proceedings will get underway. Of course, Oscar Pistorius faces the prospect of 15 years in jail for murder when those proceedings get underway. But what we also do know at this stage is that Judge Thokozile Masipa will not preside over the matter this morning. We understand that Judge Ledwaba will preside over the matter here this morning. That's expected to take just a few minutes, but no word at this stage, or none of the family members from the Steenkamp family have arrived here this morning. We're not expecting them to be at court here this morning, but we're expecting Oscar Pistorius to arrive just in the next few minutes here at the court. There's also been much speculation about whether he will arrive at court here this morning. You'd recall, of course, that we got confirmation from the Department of Correctional Services that Oscar Pistorius had been hospitalized. They refused to say, of course, what he was hospitalized for, so there is much speculation about whether he will be at court this morning. Then eventually we did get confirmation from the National Prosecuting Authority that he will be at court this morning for the formal postponement of this matter for the 13th to the 17th of June.
Chriselda, please tell us, is there any indication why it is that it's Judge Ledwaba that's taking care of proceedings as opposed to Judge Masipa today?
Well, we've just received that information, Kendall. We're yet to speak to the relevant authorities to find out why that was the case. But initially, when we spoke to the National Prosecuting Authority, you must recall that when a decision was taken that the 18th of April today will be the date where we will come back and get a formal postponement to this matter, there'd been no consultation that was made with Judge Thokozile Masipa. That was just a provisional date that had been set for today, of course, pending whether the Constitutional Court will hear Oscar Pistorius' matter. You'd recall, once the Supreme Court of Appeal had ruled that Oscar Pistorius should have been found guilty of murder and that essentially the matter be brought back to this court, that was not done in consultation with Judge Thokozile Masipa at the time. So a provisional date was put through. Perhaps in terms of availability, that's just mere speculation at this point, Kendall, that perhaps you may not have been available for this date. But we'll certainly get confirmation and find out why that was the case this morning. But we're expecting proceedings to get underway at 9:30 this morning. We're still waiting for Oscar Pistorius to arrive. But many would want to see, of course, Oscar Pistorius' condition, given the fact that he'd been hospitalized. Many questions raised about what exactly his condition is. So Oscar had not been seen in public for several months. So certainly everybody would want to get that first glimpse of him again, and perhaps try and speak to his legal representatives about whether the former athlete is doing well or what the situation is regarding him at the moment. But supporters have amassed here outside the North Gauteng High Court. Others saying justice denied anywhere diminishes justice everywhere, of course attributing that quote to Martin Luther King Jr. We're expecting proceedings to get underway here very shortly. None of the legal representatives have arrived here at this stage. We're expecting that to happen in just the next few minutes, Kendall.
I see quite a massive supporters outside court standing by there. You've spoken to a couple of them. Are any of them available to say anything to us right now, or can you quote any of them directly?
Well, certainly, Kendall, we did manage to speak to a few of them a bit earlier on, and take a listen to what some of them had to say.
I think it was unfair treatment, because he was prejudged from the very first day. And because, like, I can just talk, for example, for myself. I was watching on TV, and I didn't know him before as a sportive man. And I just saw a man walking in there in the court, and it was like a modern stoning. He was prejudged all over. And I thought it's really strange, because there was not a single day in the court. But yeah, he's prejudged, and that's not okay. And then I started to watch the trial and the facts and everything. Yeah. So it went on.
Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. From day one, and I'm sorry, I've said it to the others, it was a trial by media. From the day the news broke about this, Oscar was ridiculed. There's so much hatred out there for Oscar, and we had to show that he has got support, and he has got a lot of support. The names on this banner are just a drop in the ocean of the supporters. There's in excess of 25,000 that support Oscar. This was a bit of a rushed banner, because we decided today was the day we're coming out to show Oscar our support.
Chriselda, sounds very interesting. Thank you very much for bringing us all of that.
Just to bring you up to speed also there, Kendall, Oscar Pistorius has just arrived here at the North Gauteng High Court. As you can hear, he was brought in just a few minutes ago. He's arrived here, and some of the supporters that are outside this court have been ululating. So Oscar Pistorius has just arrived at the North Gauteng High Court. We're expecting proceedings to get underway, of course, in the next few minutes.
Chriselda Lewis, thank you so much for bringing us live from just outside the court, with Oscar arriving with all of his supporters around her. Of course, that was Oscar Pistorius appearing in the High Court in Pretoria.